Do you want to talk about something that you encountered in Kansas?
Yeah, I don't have no problem speaking in regards to that. Something that happened to me when, obviously, for the people that don't know, we stayed out in Kansas. Success was born in Kansas.
I do not like the Midwest.
I was working in Kansas City, Missouri, ironically, for the government. While driving Lyft, I was driving Lyft and Uber. Obviously, Success was just born, so Jessica was home taking care of him. And I was driving Lyft or Uber at the time one night. I was pulled over in Missouri. They try to say like I ran a stop sign or something. This was one week. I know where I'm at. Like me, I'm very aware of things that's going on, and I'm very aware of where I am. So when this happened, the first thing that I'm thinking is like, come on, I was really frustrated. And I asked him, because he was asking me all kind of questions with me having a Georgia license. He was telling me, hey, oh, how long have you been living here? Oh, you know, again, it's against the state law to be living somewhere for 30 days or to be living here in Kansas for 30 days and not change your license. Then he accused me of having an expired tag. And then I showed him my paperwork, or Inspired Insurance, and I showed him my paperwork. And he came back and was like, okay, I'll let you off this time. But he still wrote me a ticket, which I disagreed with the ticket. I feel I didn't run any stop sign. Like, I'm a Lyft and Uber driver. Why would I be doing that? And he was asking me if I had been drinking and all these things, you know, just I feel like, yeah, you know, whatever they want to call it, they was doing that. And I was frustrated with this when this instance happened. The next weekend, and this is how I knew it was time to get out the Midwest. The next weekend, I was in Kansas driving, just dropped somebody off. I'm headed home. I think it was like Interstate 9 or somewhere, Highway 9. It's a dark road. Out in Kansas or in the Midwest, for those that may not know, it's a lot of deers. You might see a lot of roadkill. Anything might jump out there. So, like I said, it was real late at night, maybe like 2:40, 2:50. I have my bright lights on because it's not like in Atlanta or in a major city where it's street lights everywhere and it's light everywhere. You might be going down a dirt road and can't see anything. So I have my bright lights on. I'm turning it like this four-way stop. As soon as I turn, maybe like 5-6 seconds later, I see a car turning and then the lights come on. Initially, when the lights come on, I'm thinking like, what's going on? I'm like, I know I didn't like run the stop sign or anything like that. So I'm like, oh, why is he pulling me over? So first thing he does is, you know, try to get my license and registration. He checking it. He asked me if I done any drugs or if I been drinking or anything like that. And I tell him no. I said I'm an Uber Lyft driver. I'm just trying to get home. Then he asked me, so what's your? I remember it like it was yesterday. He asked me, what's your highest level of education, boy? And I looked at him, and I already knew. I'm like, oh man, no, it's one of these situations. So I just continued to talk to him, and he went back to the car. And I'm thinking at the time, I'm furious, but I'm just like, man, I just gotta get home. Another cop car pulls up. Now, remind you, these are white cops that we speaking of. These white cops that we speaking of. The guy comes up. He tells me. He asked me do some type of test where I have to count and say my ABC. And I'm telling the guy, look, I just dropped somebody off for Lyft. I haven't been drinking any. Like I just told your boy that. And he had me do the test, passed the test, and he said, well, you know, in the state of Kansas, you can't be within 500 feet of anybody with your bright lights on. And I said, it's nobody on the street. What are you talking about? It's nobody. I didn't even see him. He said, yeah, but when you was turning, I was able to see your light. So that's why I pulled you over. So at the time, I already, like, obviously this can make you furious because now you got another ticket. And then on the ticket, it said failure to dim. That's all it said, failure to dim. Yeah, so I guess it would mean the failure to dim lights. However, I just remember being so furious, like going back, and it just make you want to do stuff, you know. But at the same time, like I said, I just knew I had to get home to Success. I had to get home to Jess, That was the most important thing. A lot of times we can be frustrated or we can get pulled over for no reason. We know we didn't do anything wrong, and we might even air out them frustrations, but we don't know what's on the other side of that or outside our car. We don't know who they might be calling and what's in their mind on the other side of that badge. So we always want to think, let me just get back home. We'll figure it out another way. And I would have probably went to court for it and just fought it because it was some bullshit. However, I got back home for real. We moved back to Atlanta shortly after, because after those two incidents, I said, let me get from around here. You know, Ferguson ain't far, which is Missouri, not too far outside of St. Louis. I'm like, it's too much. I know where I'm at. In Atlanta, this not going down. So let me get back home. You know, I'm away from my family. I want to get home to my son. I want to get home to my fiance. I don't want no issues, but sometimes them folks want to make it an issue. Yeah. And we just have to be knowledgeable to know that at the end of the day, we choose life. You know, if you have to do something with some self-defense, yes, 100%. And I'm only talking to the people that, you know, you've been having a long day, you get pulled over and you want to go off. You're not thinking about it because it's some bullshit. I ain't did nothing. Y'all pull me over, y'all doing this, I ain't did nothing. Yeah, but we don't know who you might be talking to. And again, I'm not saying have no fear, because I didn't have none at the time. I'm just smart enough to know, hey, I got bigger goals and I got things, and they really don't care nothing about us. So they don't, and I'm not speaking for all of them, but those ones that pulled me over 100% did not care, because what my education level had to do with anything, I'm not sure. Like, and the boy calling me boy and all that, I know what time it is, I know where I'm at, and I'm just glad to be able to talk about it. Sometimes we got to understand that it's better to live through it and talk about it later than it is to be right then and there, and you know, now somebody else got to speak on it for you, or nobody else was with you. So whoever the officer, they can paint the picture however they want it, and we just got to live with it.
And you guys, sometimes I want to say, if you're a bystander and you're recording and you're seeing something like that, put your phone down and help.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Don't just be so shocked that I'm getting on camera, and then you feel like you posting is helping. That ain't necessarily helping. You can save a life.
It was very devastating that, you know, I get people, they told people to get back. And honestly, if I see a brother that's taking his last breaths because somebody has a knee on his neck, me personally, I would just have to go to jail.
See, that's the difference when it's like right is right and wrong is wrong. If you see something going on and you of it, you know, we could have, this riot and this stuff could have happened during the time when it was going on. Let's not wait until we lose yet another life to now we want to riot, to now we frustrated. Hell, it was frustrating looking at it. So in live time, whoever was recording it, shout out to whoever that did get it, because if they didn't get that, we wouldn't be going through this. We'd just hear another story.
I just personally, if I hear someone crying, begging for their life,
or calling their mama and stuff like that, like, come on, it's more heroes out here. It's more leaders out here in the world than just people that's gonna let that slide. So, you know, we understand what happened. If something happens like that again, if you see a woman that may be getting beaten or something, you might see them get raped and they screaming and it's something in an alley, go help. Like, come on, at the end of the day, we are all humans and we gotta love one another. But at the same time, it's pure people in the world and it's evil folks. You got, everybody make mistakes. Everybody, you know, has their flaws. That has nothing to do with what's in the inside and evil and pure. So let's help one another. Let's join together, and let's live. And the whole, you know, now is everything going on, I just want to live. I don't really just feel like that. I just want to live, because we can live in a mediocre way. We want to live in Black excellence. We want to be wealthy. We want legacy. We want to leave an impact. We're not just looking to live and exist or coexist. We're trying to be at the highest level as Black excellence, leadership, showing one another and teaching one another. Each one teach some. So the information that you learn or may learn from one of us or demonstrated by one of us, teach your children, teach your nephews, nieces, your friends. Like, that's how we're gonna be able to overcome what's going on at this time, at least in my opinion.